Hey, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Come on in. Have a seat. Have a seat. What you doing? How you doing? How's your week been? How's your weekend been? Hope everything's been awesome, wonderful, great, spectacular. I've had a pretty good weekend myself, and I'm grateful for it. But I'm just waiting for y'all to come on in. Come on in. I think I'm gonna start doing it like I see these other shows do. Start my show like 5 minutes ahead of time, and then just put up a little timer that says, show starting soon, so that therefore, my people will show up like they're supposed to. Hey, Mr. Net, how you doing? Glad to see you as always. But I'm here. You're here. Thank y'all for being here. This is it's Sunday. And y'all know I look forward to the Sunday because I get a chance to talk with y'all, spend some time with y'all, share a message, a good word, hopefully help you get into your week, start your week off in a positive fashion. Hey, Miss Coley, good to see you tonight. Miss Coley, before we get too far, I just want to let you know our message tonight is called, What Are You Becoming a Professional At? What are you becoming a professional at? That is the show for tonight. I've already got excuse notes of to be excused from the show tonight from my daughter and from my baby sis. So they out doing what they doing, whatever they may doing. This week was pretty interesting. Grandson started. Well, he moved into his apartment. Longhorn moved into his own apartment. Really excited for him on that one. I do want to dedicate this show to a coworker of mine. Well, a gentleman who worked at a dealership I was at this past week. Unfortunately, while I was there, he needed some medical attention. So I'm just praying that I mean, he did get some not the best news, but I'm praying for a fast recovery, a full recovery for him, and that he will be okay and continue his life. So there's that. Hey, Annette, good to see you as well. So, all right, let's get into the message tonight, y'all. I'm going to try to stay within my window. Don't forget to like, love, and share the message. And we are broadcasting tonight on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So we got that going on too. Thank you for sharing the message, Annette. So I do appreciate you guys spending a little time with me on Sunday evening whenever you get a chance to. I really appreciate it. I hope you, like I said, I hope you had a great week. If your week has been challenging, maybe your car made a noise it wasn't supposed to make, or maybe your hot water heater took a personal day and just decided, yeah, no hot water today. Or maybe you spent 2 hours trying to remember a password you said 5 minutes ago. Then maybe tonight's conversation is right on time for you. Before we dive into the deep stuff, can we just acknowledge Sunday evening for a second? Sundays are special. Why is Sunday special? Sunday night is a weird time. I don't care what nobody says. It's weird. It's that exact window of the week where you're trying to relax, but your mind is already previewing Monday's activities and stress and all that. It's like watching a movie, but the coming attractions in your head are all horror flicks about emails, traffic, and alarm clocks. You're sitting on the couch trying to enjoy a peaceful moment. But in the back of your head, that little voice says, Hey, hey, Longhorn, did you set 3 alarms? Are you planning to gamble with your career in the morning? You need those 3 alarms so you can get up and get out. And that's true. So it's true. So if you're tuning in right now, take a deep breath. Roll your shoulders back. Turn off the mental Monday alarms for the next 25, 30 minutes. We're going to talk about something that might just change the way you look at tomorrow morning. That's what we're going to talk about. So, hey, Brother Roger, good to see you. He says hello from Quincy, from Jaden, and he's working, and we'll watch later. Well, I hope he had a good training. I'm glad he made it back okay. Coley says Sunday is the Sabbath and should be kept holy. I agree. So I was talking with one of my coworkers the other day, and somehow our conversation drifted towards procrastination. I honestly don't remember how we got there. Probably because we both were actively procrastinating on whatever work we should have been doing at that moment, but we wasn't. So you know how it is. You start talking about a spreadsheet, and 10 minutes later, you're arguing about whether hot dogs are technically a sandwich. Is a hot dog a sandwich? I don't know. So in the middle of the conversation, he looked at me with a complete straight face, dead serious, and said, Vernon, I'm not a procrastinator. I am a professional crastinator. I started laughing because I looked at him and said, man, a professional crastinator? He said, yeah. I said, man, you just making up words now. You can't just stick car in the middle of a noun and pretend it's a career. You'll get that later. He laughed and said, maybe, but I've been doing it so long, I earned the title of professional, of procrastinator. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Now, of course, we both laughed, and I lost my place. Yeah, we did. We both laughed because it was funny. I mean, if they gave out Olympic medals for avoiding tasks, some of us would be standing on the podium in our pajamas listening to the national anthem. You know who I'm talking about. I've seen people spend 3 hours organizing their desk just to avoid writing a 10-minute email. That's not lazy, that's commitment. I don't care what nobody say. If you want to put that much time into it, that's commitment. But by the time I got on my plane to fly back home, I wasn't thinking about the word anymore. I was thinking about the title, professional. Hey, Jill, good to see you. Um, he was joking, but it made me stop and ask myself a question I had never really thought about before. What am I becoming a professional at? Hmm. Not what am I good at, not what I have accomplished. What have I practiced so often that I've become a professional without even realizing it? Yeah, yeah, we flying this plane, we gonna land it. Think about that word for a second. When someone is a professional, it means they put in the time. It means they don't have to think about the basics anymore. It's just second nature. A carpenter doesn't measure twice because he's reading an instruction manual. He just automatically does it. His hands know what to do. A professional chef can smell when the food is ready without even looking at the timer. So when you ask yourself what you're becoming a professional at, you aren't looking at your resume. You're looking at your daily repetition. What do you do every day, multiple times a day, that you're becoming or have become a professional at? They say if you spend enough time doing something, somewhere around 10,000 hours, you eventually become an expert at it. That's what they say. Um, Now, whether it's exactly 10,000 hours isn't really the point. If it takes 10,000 hours to be an expert at folding sheets, I'm currently at about 4 minutes. And 3 of those minutes was spent crying because I am not a fan of folding sheets, especially fitted sheets. I'm not a fan. The point isn't the exact number. The point is that repetition changes us. Whether we repeat or, whatever we repeat, we become better at. It just happens. That's just how that works. We understand it clearly. We understand it clearly when we're talking about music. Nobody buys a guitar on Monday and expects to be headlining a concert on Friday. If you try that, by Tuesday, your fingers hurt. By Wednesday, you're trying to sell the guitar on Facebook Marketplace. And by Friday, your neighbors are thanking God you quit trying to learn how to play that damn guitar. Okay, Annette, I see you. I'm a professional nurse. Gotcha. So why? Why is that? Because see, music takes practice, but we forget that life takes practice too. Yeah, life does take practice. Every single day, we are rehearsing something. We may not even realize we're doing it, but every conversation, every reaction, every habit is another repetition. The choice to practice has already been made for us by the fact that we woke up this morning. That choice was made. The question hmm, is what you're practicing good for you? Or is it quietly working against you? And that's kind of an interesting question. Is what you're practicing good for you, or is it quietly working against you? Because, see, the truth is, you can become just as skilled at worrying as you can at playing the guitar. You can become exceptionally talented at expecting the worst, making excuses, or putting things off as you can at getting good at playing the guitar. Nobody sets out with a life goal to become a master of frustration. You don't see 5-year-olds in kindergarten saying, hey, when I grow up, I want to be a certified expert at rolling my eyes and sighing loudly in the line at the grocery store. Nobody does that. None of us ever set out to become experts in those things. We just repeat them. We repeat them often enough that they become familiar. And that's how we become a professional at them. Eventually, those reactions stop feeling like choices and they start feeling like personality. Hmm. Maybe that's where we get fooled. We fall into a trap and start making excuses for the skills we've accidentally mastered. We start saying things like, well, that's just the way I am. Or I just got a short fuse. Or I'm just naturally sarcastic, snarky. I think that's the word they use now is snarky. If you sit at a piano every day for 5 years and play the exact same out of tune song, you're going to be great at playing an out of tune song. It's not that your hands were not born to play bad, it's not that your hands were born to play bad music. It's that your hands learn what you taught them. Y'all with me tonight? You hearing me tonight? Yeah. It's not that you were born to play bad music. It's that your hands learn what you taught them. And I'll be honest with you. I had to check myself on this exact thing just this week. I sat down at my computer, fully focused, ready to work. Had some stuff I needed to do, had a couple things on my mind. I was dialed in, I was ready to go, and I hit the power button. And what does the screen say? Updating system, 1 of 47. Please do not turn off your computer. 1 of 47 updates. And you know how computer percentages work, right? It goes from 1 to 99 in 10 seconds, and then it stays at 99 for 4 hours while you question all your life choices. I'm being sarcastic, but it does happen. I felt my blood pressure jump. I leaned back in my chair, threw my hands up, and started fussing at the screen that couldn't even hear me. And as I sat there getting angry at a progress bar, it hit me. Vernon, why are you getting this worked up? It's just a computer. It's just a computer. Because I've practiced it. I've logged my 10,000 hours being annoyed at technology. So the moment a screen doesn't load fast enough, my brain instantly defaults to frustration. It's taking too long. Why won't it load? Why is that little swirly thing going around? What is this blue screen? It wasn't the computer that made me lose my peace. It was my habit. We get impatient one day, we get annoyed the next, and pretty soon impatience becomes our default setting. We've become pros at being irritated. Yeah, we're professionals at being irritated. The same thing happens with complaining. Most people don't see themselves as complainers. In fact, they'd probably tell you, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining, Vernon. I'm just being real. I'm just being honest. I'm just keeping it 100. But over time, their eyes become trained to notice problems before possibilities. They can walk into a beautiful room with 10 wonderful things happening, and within 5 seconds, their brain zooms in on the one light bulb that's out or flickering or that's slightly darker than the other ones. Yeah. And have you ever noticed? Have you ever noticed how attitudes spread? It's like a cold in a daycare center. If one person brings it in, everybody catches it. That negative thing just flies around the room. Spend some time around optimistic, encouraging people. And before long, um, you find yourself looking at life differently. You start seeing solutions instead of roadblocks. Hmm. But spend time around people who complain about everything: the weather, the boss, the traffic, the temperature of the soup. And if you're not careful, you start singing backup in the exact same choir. Hey, Charlotte, good to see you. So this clicked for me in a powerful way this week because of comedy. When people come to a comedy club, they sit back with a drink, laugh for 45 minutes, and as they walk out the door, they say, man, that guy is just naturally funny. He got a gift. What they don't see are all the nights the jokes didn't work. They don't see the heavy, awkward silence in a half empty room where the only sound is an ice cube hitting the bottom of someone's glass. Thanks, Buzz. They don't see you sitting at a desk at 1 o'clock in the morning, changing one word, tweaking the time and adjusting the emphasis until finally one night everybody laughs. People call it talent. The comedian calls it practice. And then it hit me like a ton of bricks this week. If I practice listening the way I practice writing jokes, how much better would my relationships be? If I put that same effort, that same attention to detail, and that same willingness to tweak my tone into everyday character, what would my life look like? Maybe you should ask yourself the same question. We tell ourselves we want a better, say, relationship. But when our significant other speaks, we practice preparing our counter argument instead of listening. We say we want peace in our hearts, but every night before bed, we practice worrying about things 3 weeks in the future that haven't even happened yet. We do this. We say we want deeper relationships, but when we sit down at the dinner table, we practice looking at our screens, at our phones, instead of looking at the human being sitting right across from us. It drives me fruit. I'm in a restaurant and people whip out their phones and there's two people sitting there. and they're spending more time staring at their phone than they are with each other. It's crazy to me. Life doesn't usually change because of one big cinematic decision. It changes because of thousands of little decisions repeated over and over and over again. Hey, Jerry, good to see you. Jerry says they never see the work that goes into becoming skilled at your passion. There is only there is only so much to give, only so much water in our buckets. We have to fill those buckets before we spoon out more water. Yes, sir. Good to see you, my friend, but you're exactly right. So here's something I'd like for you to write down tonight if you have a second. Here's a statement I want you to write down. Some of y'all keep notes. I know some of y'all have your gratitude journals. Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. Yeah. If you assemble a piece of flat pack furniture, some you got from IKEA, and put the legs on backwards, doing it 1,000 times does not make you a master carpenter. That's not how that works. You just become an absolute expert at building a table that leans to the left. You trained your hands to execute a flaw flawlessly. Yes, you did. Congratulations. But you're not a master carpenter. Practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. So the same thing is true in life. Character isn't built in the big heroic moments when everyone is watching and clapping. It's built in the ordinary moments that nobody applauds. It's built when you're tired at the end of a long workday and someone asks you a simple question. It's built when you're frustrated, disappointed, or overwhelmed. Yeah. Those ordinary, unglamorous moments are our daily rehearsals. Yeah. Jerry says proficiency and professionalism are at opposite ends of the spectrum. Mm. Dropping gems, Jerry. Okay. Think about the people in your life that you truly admire. You're right. Practice does not make perfect, it makes permanent. Think about the people in your life that you truly admire. You don't admire them because they had one great day 5 years ago. You admire them because of what they consistently do. They're dependable, they're patient, they're kind, they keep their word. Yeah. Those qualities didn't appear overnight. They're practice. They practice them day in and day out until those qualities become permanent. If you've met me in person, I've been accused of being a nice guy, but I'm the same way every day. And I practice it every day. I still tip my hat. I pull out chairs. I hold doors. I say yes, sir, and no, sir. I say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. I put a Mr. or Miss in front of your name until you tell me stop calling you that. It's practiced and it's permanent. But here is the beautiful thing about all of this. That's actually good news. Thank you, Annette. That's actually good news. Why? Because if your life is the result of what you've been practicing, that means you have the power to change what you practice starting right now. You don't need a 50-step plan or total personality transformation by Tuesday. You don't. You could just you just have to change one practice. Tomorrow morning, when your alarm goes off, you're going to step out into the world and you're going to practice something. You'll practice patience instead of impatient if you are an impatient person. You'll practice gratitude instead of complaining. You'll practice listening instead of looking for your opportunity to interrupt. Because this is what we do. The choice isn't whether you'll practice, the choice is what you'll practice. Practice patience instead of impatience. Practice gratitude instead of complaining. Practice listening instead of preparing to interrupt. So, Jerry says you can either embrace anger or practice niceness daily, which will become permanent. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I've been knocked off my square. Okay. More times than I care to count. But it's what you do when you get up from being knocked down. I've had people be mean to me. And I could have said something. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of y'all that know me, I could say some things. I could say some things that make you hate your mama. I could say some things to you that make the pictures in your wallet cringe. But I choose to be nice. I choose to be a nice person. I choose to be a good guy. I'm not saying I've always been that way. I can't say I've always been the most positive guy in the place. It's a learned behavior. I had to change. I didn't want to be a professional complainer. Didn't want that. I didn't want to be professionally frustrated. I didn't want to be professionally short-sighted. I didn't want that. Thank you, Coley. So before we leave tonight, let me remind you of something we've talked about before on this show. Don't forget to get your change. Yeah, I brought it back, and I'm probably going to keep bringing it back. Don't forget to get your change, your pennies, your nickels, your dimes. Why? Because life is changed one small choice at a time. Every time you choose patience over frustration, that's a penny. Every time you encourage someone instead of criticizing them, that's a nickel. Every time you keep your word, even when it's inconvenient, that's a dime. Don't underestimate those small daily deposits. Don't. You keep putting those pennies in the jar day after day, week after week, month after month, and one day you'll wake up and realize all those small choices added up to $1 or added up to dollars, and those dollars became a life-changing transformation. But it starts with one step, making that choice about what you want to be known as, what you want to be a professional at. So this week, don't worry about changing your entire life overnight. Just practice one thing that's good for you. What is good for you? Is complaining really good for you? Is being frustrated really good for you? Is yelling at people because they took the last banana out of the grocery store? Is that really good for you? Or is patience, is love, is happiness, is kindness, is being curious, Are those better for you? So think about that tonight. Then practice it again tomorrow. Yeah. Because see, one day, without even realizing it, you'll become a professional at it. Yes, you will. Practice what you preach. That's right, Coley. Jerry says we all fall. It's who we drag down with us that define us. The time we take to recover will also determine our path. It will also determine who we surround ourselves with. Amen twice. So that's the message tonight, John. That's the message. And there's a little different angle, I know. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank y'all for spending another Sunday evening with me. I appreciate each and every one of you. Until next time, take care of yourselves. So as you know, I always say, love yourself, take care of yourself, respect yourself. Get them kids a hug for me. Respect our vets. Respect our vets. This has been another episode of Messages in the Madness with your host, Vernon Longhorn Davis. And until next time, yep, you have a blessed week too, Annette. Until next week, you have a great week too, Jerry. Roger, you're welcome. Uh, don't forget to get your change, though. Whatever you do, do not forget to get your change. God bless y'all. $2.